Welcome to our Starfish training. My name is Andrea Moon and I'll be facilitating your training today. Just want to give you a little overview of what Starfish is. It's a student success and retention program. It's designed to help NSU identify students who need help, promote our support services, immediately communicate concerns to the right people, track and document student progress, and increase access to student support services through online scheduling. I will show you the actual program today. It is a training link, and you can follow along with me, and then we'll have questions at the end. You can log on through D2L. We will also have other links available. One will be through WebAdvisor, and we'll have another one on the website eventually. It's not there yet. I'll show you later where it's located. So if you click into our Starfish program, this is the home page. Right now the home page is highlighted here. This is where you would see any flags that are raised. A flag is basically when you have a concern about a student, you can manually raise a flag about a student. Kind of like what we currently do with WebAdvisor. You can say if there's a deficiency about a student, if they're missing assignments, if they're not attending class. Well, this program has made it much easier for you in terms of you will have all of your students listed. I'll show you in a minute. You'll be able to check their name and check the concern, whether it's not attending class, missing an assignment, low exam grades, whatever the concern you have for the student, you'll be able to raise the flag. And it's kind of like an academic Facebook where you'll have your profile, which I'll show you here, and this is your homepage. The students have something similar looking, and when a flag is raised, it will show up on their homepage, and they will also get an email notification. So it's a really great way, again, for us to identify any concerns about students and immediately communicate to the students. So it's a great way, again, for you to communicate with your students. Lets them know that, hey, I noticed you weren't in class today, or hey, there's a missing assignment, do you need to come talk with me about it? What's going on? So the idea is then that the students would take action and come meet with you. Today I'm going to show you again how to manually raise the flag. Then I will show you how to, if you so choose, to set up online office hours and appointments. And I'll show you your profile and how you might want to set that up. And also I will show you a progress survey, which is going to replace our Week 3 WebAdvisor and midterm deficiency program that we're currently using. And it will provide us with much more specific information about what's going on with the student. And then our outreach practices will be much improved because we will actually know what's going on with the student versus cold calling them right now and saying, oh, it looks like there's a concern in this class. Can you tell me what's going on? Now we can specifically say, oh, you're not attending this class, or you're missing an assignment, or how can we help you with the writing center, and whatever it may be. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do, I will show you how to manually raise a concern or a flag about your students. So you would simply click on the tab at the top that says Students. And you have a connection piece right here because some of you will have a few different roles. You'll have an instructor role, you might have an advisor role, and then all of your courses are listed underneath. So you can click on a course, but one thing I'd like you to remember is to make sure over here where it says term, you're going to want to make sure that you're in fall 2012. So whenever you go into the system, you might want to just double check your connections because you might be having the active, that's kind of the default, so you want to click on to fall. It might not change some of your classes. What it might do is it would list all of your classes from the past couple semesters if you clicked active or all. So it's nice for you to organize it by clicking fall 2012 and then again connecting to one of your courses. So right now you can connect to one of your courses. I have one University Success course, so I'm going to use that as our example. Your current student should be showing up for you right now in the system. And to raise a flag, it's as simple as finding the student who you have a concern about. So I could click this student, for example, and then click Raise Flag. And you'll have a couple different options here once you click Raise Flag. So these are the generic flags that Starfish has created and the Board of Regents have designed for you. Now keep in mind that some of them might not exactly work for your situation, and in that case you might pick low attendance or missing assignment or low participation, and then what you can do is fill in the blanks and have comments available. One thing I want to point out though is the behavioral concern will not go to the student. So keep in mind, the idea is Everything else, your attendance concerns, your missing assignments, low participation, those types of flags will be communicated to the student. But you don't have to worry if there is a behavioral type concern that you're worried about with the student. That one will not go to the students. So I want to point out that, let's say you choose attendance concern, you can then write a comment in the comment box, but I really want to stress to all of you that the students are your audience. So keep that in mind. Whatever you write here, it's what you would want them to read, because it's going to show up in their email and it's going to show up on their homepage. You can even tailor it to the student if you want. That's up to you and how you choose to use this, but keep in mind they are your audience. And then, like I said, myself and the Student Success Center and advisors and other relationship people, coaches, they would have access to the students they work with to see their concerns, to try to outreach and help the students as well. But ideally, the students are your audience. So keep that in mind, please. Okay, so then you can write anything you want here, missed 3 classes or whatever it may be. You can be very specific, but I'm just putting this in for an example. Click Save, and that will be, again, sent directly to the student's homepage, and they will get an email. Now, keep in mind that as the instructor role, you can also clear a flag, because let's say later down the road the student's doing much better, you can clear the flag, and that's, I'll show you that in a minute. The other thing you can do, which is kind of neat, is you can refer students to different centers, you can create to-dos, and I'll let you kind of browse through those at a later point, but right now too, there's another option to add kudos. Kudos is not actually technically a word, but it's the Starfish term, so I just want to point that out. The English faculty made sure and let us know that. So it's actually kudos. You can raise a kudos if a student is doing well in your class, just to kind of give them a gold star and let them know they're doing well, especially for a student who maybe started off on the wrong foot and now they're doing better, and you might want to say, hey, I noticed, and things are going better, you're showing improvement. So we can also send positive messages as well, which is great. And actually some of the other universities I've talked to have said that a lot of faculty use this feature as well. It's kind of a nice positive reinforcement. But again, we want to be able to communicate if there's concerns. So that, in a nutshell, is manually raising a flag, referring, adding a kudos. And then what I want to also point out is your profile. So in the very top right corner, you'll see your name, and then there's a question mark picture here, and you can click on the profile. And this will be your profile. Everything that we have for information in the system is being pulled from colleague DataTel right now. So for example, my cell phone is in here, and once we go live, I'll take that out. I just want it in there to show you that that may potentially happen to you. So you want to make sure you have the right phone numbers. You might want to, if your cell phone is pulling through, take that out. Make sure you have your office number in there. Ideally, we'd like you to put a photograph out there for your students, if you so choose, so they can get to know you better, and then we'll have that available too for them to see, like myself and different advisors or coaches or whoever. So it's kind of nice to have pictures. And then keep in mind there's a few tabs at the top which you can use for appointment preferences, email notifications. If you are an advisor, for example, if one of your students has 3 or more flags, so there are a lot of things going on with that student, you will get an email notification about that student, which is kind of nice. Again, if you're working with that student in other areas, you'll be able to know what's going on. So just so you know, then you can set up your email notifications that way. So that is simply your profile page. You can also down below put in your little biography if you would like, or a general overview talking about office hours or whatever you'd like to put in there. So if the students want to click on your page, they can see that. That's office. Oh, that's what I want to show you next. Office hours. This is kind of neat for you if you so choose to use this. There is the option. I'm going to go into students to show. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you how to add office hours, and then I'm going to go in as a student and show you what they would see. So when you're on the home page, you can go to the button that says Add Office Hours at the top left. And then you can put in your office hours. So for example, if you want to have your office hours available, if it's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4, for example, this will allow students to sign up through this system, and it will pop up on your Outlook calendar. And keep in mind that you can choose to accept or decline it, because maybe, you normally have office hours from 1 to 4, every Tuesday and Thursday, but something comes up, and then a student chooses a time when a meeting comes up, and you can decline if you're not able to meet with that student. but it's a neat way for them to connect with you because they can then look at the availability, and I'll show you from the student lens, and they can check and say, okay, I'd like to come in at 2 o'clock. It'll pop up for you. You can choose to, again, accept it, and then you'll get an email reminder, and so will the student, so you'll know that they're coming in to meet with you, which is kind of neat for you, especially if you're an advisor and you want to use that. The only thing you have to remember is to connect to the NSU office hours. We are part of all 6 public universities that are part of the system, so there's a few glitches in that where you're going to want to double check that it's pretty obvious, but click NSU here, and then again you can have a start and end date, so if it's just for one semester, because some of you may change each semester what your office hours are, so that's fine to do, and then again you'll just submit that and it'll be saved. So I'm going to go in as a student here for you and show you on the back end what it looks like from the student's perspective. Okay, so this is the student's homepage. Again, similar to ours in a way, but they're going to have their classes listed here. And again, this is available if the professor chooses to have online office hours. So for example, a couple of different faculty members have went in. I have this student in my University Success course. So for example, I put out 1 to 5, Tuesdays and Thursdays, different times here. And if this student, because I raised a concern, wants to come meet with me, they can come over, click available appointments. I think I have Thursdays. I gotta move down a little bit though. And so it's as easy as they just click the sign up button. You may have 15 minutes, you may have half-hour blocks, however you want to set it up. But again, then they can sign in and meet with you. If a student is already signed up, this will not be available, or if you have another appointment, and they will not see anything else on your calendar. They'll only see the times that are available. And again, you can choose to accept that or not, and it goes right into your Outlook calendar. So that's, again, if the student wants to sign up for an online a face-to-face meeting through the online venue here. And then the Student Success Path will show all of their concerns here, and like I said, they'll also get the email. And they can close this and move these around. This is their success network, all the different people they interact with, whether it's their instructor, their advisor, their coach. They'll have those different people listed here to click and meet with them as well. And then their appointments, if they schedule appointments, will show up on here. And of course they have a profile page too, and we encourage them to put their picture and their information and updated information. So one other quick thing I want to show you is a YouTube video with the progress survey. So like I mentioned, you can raise a flag at any point in the semester, but at the week 3 and the week 7 time periods, we would like to provide you a progress survey, which will allow you to check specific information about the student, and you can add comments. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this link.
Instructors might be asked from time to time to report on the progress of their students by submitting a flag survey. First, navigate to your Starfish dashboard. From here, you'll see a link to any outstanding surveys you might have to complete. Click that link to reach the survey grid. A flag survey is a simple way for an instructor to report on an entire course section at once. From here, all an instructor needs to do is check off the boxes where they have concerns, enter any comments, and then click Submit. Once you check off a box, you'll notice that a small yellow note icon will appear. Click that icon to add additional comments about the flag you'd like to raise. Once you're finished, simply click Submit to report your concern.